Shalom, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Double, oh my bad, I ain't supposed to say that, my bad. Salutations to all the Akim out there spreading this truth like wildfire in all truthfulness and in all sincerity. You know, pushing this 144% truth that we have learned from the apostles and elders of GMS. You know, both the brothers in GMS and, affiliates and just like-minded brothers that are not a part of GMS, like myself, and others. Shalom to y'all, and shalom to the rest of the hopeful elect out there. I hope this is edifying to y'all. Alright, so got this article, it's from October 19th, 2023, but it's still relevant, it's what they're trying to do, and you see the protest for Jordan Neely, man. It's BLM activists and pro-Palestine activists doing it. So hey, bro, that entire scenario was, was set up by these elites, man, to get Jake, to basically join the pro-Palestinian movement, get BLM to join the pro-Palestinian movement. Because right after the pro-Palestinian movement said we stand, basically we against that Daniel Penny being basically being let off the hook. We against that. That's wrong. So that's like a snare. These agent provocateurs among them were sent to set that snare. To get Jake to join in on this. Small hats versus the Palestinian shit, man. Basically. And this article is relevant because of that. But it's from the Washington Free Beacon, It says inside BLM, it's in the Democrats category, and it's titled Inside BLM's long history with Hamas-friendly activists. With the Hamas-friendly activists, gotta be careful, know what I mean. BLM chapters across the country made waves last week when they excused, and you have to take it. This is the narrative that they're trying to set, basically, and that's why they're wording it like this. But BLM chapters across the country made waves last week when they excused and explained away Hamas's attack on the so-called state of Israel. I'm, of course, adding the so-called state part, of part. A coalition of 26 local chapters called the attacks quote-unquote desperate acts of self-defense, quote-unquote. The Chicago chapter shared an image glorifying Hamas gunmen on paragliders before walking the back of the blowback. And hey, bro, they could have just said some shit about they fighting against, small hat supremacy over there, basically, and they took it and, contorted it and twisted it to mean that. And the movement's Phoenix branch praised Hamas, quote unquote, freedom fighters for their acts of resistance, echoing this Hamas, echoing this rhetoric, keep in mind, the narrative, it's a narrative being pushed. This is a propaganda hit piece. That's why it's worded like that. Echoing this rhetoric are two Hamas-friendly groups, American Muslims for, Peace Stein, and the Council, and the Council for American Islamic Relations, that have for nearly a decade, see what they doing? Worked arm in arm with the BLM organization to plan rallies and lobby lawmakers. They're trying to say that so-called black folks is secretly the enemy, man. The groups are united by an quote unquote oppressed oppressor narrative that helps them destroy society, quote unquote. According to the same group behind Project 2025, the same group behind Project Esther as well, you know, the Heritage Foundation's Mike Gonzalez, quote unquote, they see the so-called state of Israel as a kind of mini-me of the Western America, quote unquote, and it is. But this is what he's saying. Gonzalez told, I added his part, of course, but Gonzalez told the Washington Free Beacon, quote unquote, they hate the West. Jerusalem is one of the founding blocks of Western thought. So if they're going to hate the West, they have to hate the so-called state of Israel. Which Jerusalem and, you know, the actual people of Jerusalem and the scriptures do not back up so-called Western values, but go against it. When you understand what the scriptures is really about, it's Eastern thoughts, you know, that the scriptures is about. You know, it's an Eastern book. It's not a Western book. But you know, the West, basically the Western world, Edomite countries, that's the revived Roman Empire, you know. And basically the so-called state of Israel is like a part of that, you know. Basically, the people that run the so-called state of Israel run the revived Roman Empire, man. Pretty much. You know, also showing, you know, those are Edomites as well, man. Esau would be in that top ruling position, you know, in the end days, man. Esau's the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, you know. Second Ezra 6 and 9, man. Dude. So they're Edomites. But anyways, American Muslims for Peace-Stein, whose board includes a man, Salah Sarsur. These are like accusations, is what it is. Keep in mind, you know, accusations can be false, and you know they just bro, like basically this devil is the forger of lies, man. But let me continue. Includes a man, Salah Sarsur, who helped raise funds for, you know, what these devils call, quote unquote, a Hamas front group, quote unquote, in the late 1990s, declared itself firmly, quote unquote, firmly in solidarity with so-called black Americans, quote unquote, and demanded, quote unquote, justice for George Floyd, quote unquote, in 2020. It organized BLM rallies in Dallas in 2020, and the following year co-sponsored a rally in front of the Lincoln Memorial to demand the Biden administration to sanction the so-called state of Israel, which they did not, you know. But they did the opposite, continued arming them. But you know, see what they're doing. Like, so-called black folks are secretly enemies of the U.S. You know, that's what, and enemies of the West. You know, that's what they're pushing out. You know. Speaking at the American Muslims, like they're in league with these Ishmaelites, man. They're T words, man. You know, secretly, man. That's what that's what Esau is doing. He's falsely accusing, man. Speaking at the American Muslims for Peace-Stein event in 2021, one BLM leader articulated the group's shared commitment. His words, you know, words of this fucking article, destroying the so-called state of Israel. You know? See what they doing, man. Quote unquote, so-called black people know when Zionists try to twist the words of so-called black brothers across the world. BLM DC organizer Anthony Lorenzo Green said, quote unquote, I'm not just an ally, I'm your comrade. I'm in this struggle with you. Our struggles are connected. That's why Palestinian flags are flying at BLM protests last year and years before that. But I'm gonna go on. But I'm gonna say this though, y'all got you Jakes out there. Y'all need to stay out of these heathen beefs, man, because it's a snare. But 2/3 of y'all are gonna get caught up anyways. But those who are in this truth, man, if you in this truth, if you're calling yourself an Israelite because you're an Israelite and you're trying to let people know, stay the fuck out of these heathen beefs, man. Stay the fuck out of them. You know, if your camp and want to participate in that somehow, man, they going off. Stay the fuck out of that. We're not supposed to make leagues with these heathens, man. Stay out of that shit. It's a trap. You know, quote unquote. That's why we can speak clearly that the so-called state of Israel is an apartheid state, which it is. You look at South Africa and how it's set up. You look at the so-called state of Israel, how it's set up. It's like that. It's like it's worse. I'd say it's worse than how South Africa was. With the Bantu stands and all that, and how even the Jim Crow U.S. was. It's worse. Because it's the small hats doing it. And they're also treating Jake that's over there like shit too. But the so-called state of Israel, it is, it's a Edomite supremacist, state, it is. It's right, it's true, Quote unquote, that's why we can speak clearly that it's the so-called state of Israel's apartheid state, That's what Green said. Adding from, quote unquote, from DC to Palestine, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, Yeah, I read it, bro. Quote unquote, And then from the river to the sea is basically what they're saying. They calling it anti, S word, bro. It's a slogan used by Hamas and other, supposedly anti S word groups to call for supposedly the destruction of the small head state, the Amalekite state, really. The Council for American Islamic Relations, whose co-founder and executive director, Nihad Awad, has called the so-called state of Israel a quote-unquote settler colonial apartheid state, which it is, was a vocal supporter of BLM in 2020. A federal judge in 2007, supposedly, bro, like, they're all connected according to this article. A federal judge in 2007 found quote-unquote ample evidence to establish the association, quote-unquote, between CAIR, which CAIR, which is the Council for American Islamic Relations, and Hamas. CAIR lobbied Congress for Police Reform Act. So keeping these cops in check is bad. It's anti S word now. Basically. Because the IDF, when you look into it, trains these cops, man, to be how they are. That's why it would be considered an anti-S, thing to do, to push a police reform act, But I'm going to continue. Supported by BLM and displayed a BLM banner in front of its Washington, D.C. headquarters. Our local, CAIR chapters organized protests with their BLM counterparts throughout the summer of 2020. BLM's cozy relationship with the Hamas-friendly groups, according to this article, may come as a shock to the movement's, small hat allies. Given that 600 prominent small hat organizations, including the ADL, signed a letter and published a full-page ad in the NYT in August 2020 expressed their unequivocal support of BLM. But basically, that's a controlled opposition group, man. And it shows also, even with Soros funded, because what the small hats will do is fund both sides of a conflict. That's what they would do, you know. Even look back, hey, the Black Panthers, they did a lot of good things, but they was, pushing the whole truth. But both them and the Klan was funded by, I believe, like the same people. And also, you can look into Judah P. Benjamin's, who was a small hat, not Judah or Benjamin, but that was his name, you know. He funded the first Klan, bro. He funded the first Klan, so small hats are behind the very concept of a Klan, pretty much. It's a small hat supported movements, pretty much. But anyways, like these major movements like this, they are funded by the small hats. They are funded by them. Why? Why? Because the elites of Esau and Edom, which are mainly made up of small hats, of the tribe of Amalek, Edomites of the tribe of Amalek, they want KO, so they could bring in the oil, And part of that KO is race wars, man. That's why, They want that shit. They want that shit. They actually want the race wars. Nation versus nation, which is ultimately prophecy, is going to lead to the downfall of this place, These devils gonna think they got their way, man. They're that's when the Most High Power Yahweh is gonna send his son back. Yahweh Shai, he's gonna take them down, man. And also when when War 3 is gonna get hot, it may be that the angels in the chariots set the nukes off, man. It may be, if the heathens is too hesitant to do it, so that this place falls, man, because it's destined to fall, it's created to fall, Esau wasn't destined to keep ruling. The New World Order wasn't destined to just be going on forever, man. Something's gonna happen to where these heathens and devils turn on each other, man. Pretty much. Hey, it may be that the small hats, they get too big for their britches, over there in our land, man. They start doing way too much, cause they got they're feeling themselves, cause Trump's back and all that shit, But and that just leads to World War III being taken to a whole different level, man. Pretty much, it's biblical prophecy that the least of the flock, which is the small hats in our land especially, will draw in the rest of these Edomites, man. Specifically Babylon, man, which is the U.S. will draw the U.S. in. The U.S. is always going to bat for the so-called state of Israel, man. And Trump, he's gung-ho for the so-called state of Israel, man. The most pro so-called state of Israel president, that's what he was. And the second term is going to be even more that way, man. But, basically, I'll keep reading this article. BLM's ties with the groups dates back to 2014 when Palestinian activists supposedly advised so-called black rioters in Ferguson, Missouri on how to resist the police. So they're saying that, basically BLM is terrorists in the making, man. You see what they're saying? Their efforts earned accolades from prominent BLM leaders such as DeRay McKesson, who credited Peace Indian protesters for teaching rioters what to do when we got tear gassed. So basically, they're saying, see, terrorists, domestic terrorists, BLM is domestic terrorists. That's what they're saying, man. That's actually what they've been pushing, that narrative, you know. And that the liberals are like, they're too soft on them and shit, you know. That's what they've been pushing, man. And that we need like a strong conservative Republican leadership to crack down on them, you know. That's what they've been pushing, man. Ordo to stop the KO, man. That's what they've been pushing. And who are they blaming for the KO? So-called black folks. That's who they're blaming. Followed by Latinos and natives. You know, they teaming up. All these brown folks is teaming up against a so-called white man. That's what they're pushing, man. And the small hats, you know, because the small hats are so-called white people. But, yeah. Rep. Cori Bush continuing on. Democrat from Missouri, you know, she was one, you know. AIPAC pushed her out, basically. Using a propaganda campaign, you know. But anyways, Representative Cori Bush, Democrat Missouri, who said cutting off American support of the so-called state of Israel was the only way to put a stop to Hamas, you know, they call Hamas terror, man. Honored Palestinian activist Bassem Masri, you know, during the speech on the House floor in May 2021 for resisting rebellion with rioters in Ferguson. See how they're pushing them, man? They're pushing this narrative, man. You know, these so-called blacks have gotten too uppity, man. That's what they're pushing, and they're teaming up with these other brown-skinned people to take down the so-called white man. You know, including the small hats. That's the narrative that they're pushing, man. That's the narrative that they're pushing, and a lot of these top, you know, so-called activists of our people were set up by Esau Edom, you know, to get our people blamed, man. Or they sold out. They were legitimate activists that were bought off, man, by Esau Edom, you know, to do that, you know. And Cori Bush, though, she was like, I'd say she was probably was sincere, though. But the way they did her, she probably was sincere. But the so-called black, this is what she said, the so-called black and Palestinian struggles for liberation are interconnected, and we will not let up till all of us are free. You know, and they're taking that and blowing it up like, look, you know, look, the so-called blacks are getting too uppity. We need to put them down again, you know. They're teaming up with these other brown-skinned people to take us down, you know. They're all getting too uppity. We need to put them down and establish so-called white supremacy again. That's what they're pushing, man. That's what they're pushing. You know, so that MAGA movement is about so-called white supremacy. But a lot of people don't realize it, you know. A lot of people that follow MAGA don't realize it, man. They think it's really about making America great again, you know. They actually sincerely believe in it. But it actually is about that, though, you know. Because you think about it, when was America great for so-called white people, man? When it was openly so-called white supremacist, man. That's when. 1950s, bro. When the average self-proclaimed so-called white man, you know, could do pretty much anything, you know. And the average, you know, not self-proclaimed because it was placed on them, but the average so-called black man, you know, Latino man, native man, you know, if he wasn't a so-called white man, you know, and that includes the small hats. If he wasn't one of them, you couldn't get away with shit, man. Basically, you couldn't get away with shit. You know, the '80s was kind of a revival of that a little bit, but not all the way. You know, which is why I also like the '80s. But you know, hey, man, they basically. That's why these MAGA supporters keep saying like we're so back. You know, back where? To the '50s, man. But with the new technological twist, man. Basically. With Elon, you know, in the mix. But and Peter Thiel, you know, that small hat. But anyways, I'm reading on. BLM solidified its ties with Palestinian forces in 2015 when its leaders embarked on a 10-day trip to the so-called State of Israel to quote-unquote experience and see firsthand the occupation, ethnic cleansing, and brutality the so-called State of Israel has levied against Palestinians, man. And to build, y'all know what it is though, and to build relationships with people in the region, quote-unquote leading the fight for liberation, man. Because basically, you know, because that is the inherent, like the fear that these average so-called white people have, you know, it's real, man. Fear of a so-called black and brown planet is real. They actually have that fear, man. It's totally real, you know. It's been real, you know, since the jump, man. It's been real since they took Jake into captivity, man. It's been real since then, man. They've been had, you know, that fear, you know, that, you know, they're gonna be replaced, man. They've been had that fear, man. By the way, the small hats over there in the so-called State of Israel believe in a great replacement theory. They do believe in it, you know. But yeah, they believe in it. They totally believe in it. But yeah, you know. Okay, during that trip, anyways, reading on, BLM co-founder Patrice Cullors organized a flash mob in Nazareth specifically to support, and they're calling it anti-S. You know, basically BDS, boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement. It's like we're boycotting businesses that support what the so-called State of Israel is doing. You know, we're divesting, we're not investing in businesses that do basically support what the so-called State of Israel is doing. You know, sanctions, advocating for sanctions against the self-proclaimed, well, self-proclaimed so-called State of Israel, which they're Edomites, man, of the tribe of Amalek. But you already know this. But you know, reading all, man. Any sort of criticism, it goes to show that any sort of criticism of the small hats is called anti-S, man. You know, Cullors resigned from BLM in 2021 amid allegations of financial misconduct and now earns a living as a new performance artist. You know, they had to slip that one in, you know, of course. The following year, the movement for so-called Black Lives, a close ally of so-called Black Lives Matter, you know, released a policy platform that labeled the so-called State of Israel an apartheid state, you know, and called for the end of the quote-unquote Israeli occupation of Palestine, you know, quote-unquote, which, you know, so what they doing, bro, they are linking up any supporters of, like, anyone that stands up against so-called white supremacy, which includes Zionism, you know, small hat supremacy, as terrorists. You know, they're a problem. You know, they're thugs. They need to be dealt with, man. You know, they're savages. You know, they need to be dealt with, man. You know, basically, the policy platform earned. This is what the elites of Esau are doing. They're setting that play up, and they've been doing it. The policy platform earned the unequivocal support of Students for Justice and Peace Stein, whose chapters have issued statements honoring Hamas martyrs, quote unquote, who, this is according to that October 7th false narrative, there's no evidence of this, who supposedly, according to the so-called State of Israel, I did that part, murdered, small hat kids earlier this month. But basically, you know, a lot of it is like, and a lot of that October 7th shit, when you look into it, it's like not true, but basically, hey, saying that is gonna become a crime, man. But basically, with DJT coming in office, man, and these protests, you know, for Jordan Neely, and you got these Ishmaelites, so supposedly joining hands with basically with the basically the pro Jordan Neely, anti Daniel Penny being acquitted protests is like basically another way, for them to like link Jake in with Ishmael, basically, see, they're taking sides with Ishmael, you know, they're terrorists as well, man. They're domestic extremists, man. We gotta go after them, man. And you see it, right here, man.
What's his name? Jordan Neely. Say his name. Jordan Neely. What's his name? Jordan Neely.
See it, right? And you see just regular BLM, and then you have, pro, peace stimulus protesters, man. They have a lot of so-called whites in there as well. Of all tribes of Edomites in there as well. But it's a psyop though.
Police forces, and throughout now,
Eve is all out there, man.
Everyday civilians on the streets. Shame.
Which is real angry, Esau has been oppressing our people, man. But it's a psyop that they've got going, to link our people to Ishmael,
Daniel Penny should have been convicted for murder.
That's right. Yeah.
I'll say it one more time. Daniel Penny should have been convicted for murder.
That's right. That's right.
So, Belly Rebel. Belly Rebel is a father, is a black man, is the founder of We the People, one of the most longest current standing mutual aid groups in New York City. Belly Rebel is now behind bars because he was out here using his First Amendment right to protest for Jordan Neely.
And Esau is gonna do away with the First Amendment, man. Esau is gonna do away with it in the name of anti-S, man. There's not gonna be any more freedom of speech, man. Basically, there's not going to be any more of that. Because if it's considered anti-S, they're going to say, like, you can't, it's illegal, man. It's hate speech, you know?
Shame! 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 So I want us to come out here and not only remember and scream Jordan Neely's name while we're in these streets, but I want us to scream justice for Relly Rebel too. Okay? Can we do that, community? Yeah. Okay.
Well, basically, yo, like, get the picture, dude. They are combining the two movements, what they're doing. You know, the elites of Esau Edom, you know, pretty much, you know, get the picture, man. And using agent provocateurs, man, you know, to stir the pot. And basically, it's a setup, man. It's what it is. And then you know, these Northern Kingdom so-called Latino migrants are not safe. They're going to be linked in with this as well, man. They're going to be linked in with this as well, man. All these brown people is coming against the so-called white man. That's their narrative that they're pushing, man. And we have to stop them. That's that narrative that they're pushing, man. Basically, Esau Edom is accusing Jake, you know, falsely, you know. Psalms 50 and 16, but unto the wicked the Most High Power saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth, man? The wicked is Esau Edom, by the way. You know, the nation of wicked. The nation that's the wicked. You know, you have the nation that's the wicked, that's wicked by nature. And then you have, like, estranged from the womb. And then you have, you know, heathens that they follow the ways of Esau. And you have our people that follow the ways of Esau. But anyways, yeah. Verse 7, which would be the 2/3. You know, verse 17 though. Seeing thou hatest instruction. Hatest destruction. Hatest instruction is what I meant to say. And castest my words behind thee. You know, they don't truly follow these scriptures, man, these Edomites. Verse 18, when thou sawest a thief, then thou consentest with them, and has been a partaker with adulterers, man. When they saw these Edomites, they stole this land, didn't they? And they went around and stealing, you know, all around the world, man, still doing it, you know. And thou consentest with them, and has been a partaker with adulterers, man. What were they doing during the time of hardcore slavery, for example, and the genocides when Esau was just showing his horns openly? You know, they was graping, you know, the wives, you know, of northern and southern kingdom. That's what they was doing, man. On the plantation, Esau would grab Eve up, you know, and take her all back, you know, and have his way with her, you know. On you know, the so-called black woman I'm referring to here. On basically, you know, on the haciendas with the Spanish-speaking Edomites, they do the same with the Northern Kingdom women, man. Grab them up, take them somewhere, you know. How they way with them, you know. You know, Gad, bro, the North American natives, you know, except for the Seminoles, and they're scattered descendants because those would be Reuben. They're doing the same to them, man. It's still Gadite women that come up missing and shit, you know. What do you think is going on? You know, so adulterers, right? You know, that's someone's wife. A lot of the times, adulterers. Verse 19, thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue. Hey, and Jake tried to do something about it. You know, he just got smoked, man. Verse 19, thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue framest deceit. You know, they make up stories like J.D. Vance admitted to doing, man. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. You know, that's what Esau does, man. He uses his words as a weapon, pretty much, you know. Verse 20, thou sittest and speakest against thy brother, Jacob. Thou slanderest thine own mother's son, you know. Make up lies and slander about our people, man. Create traps for our people to fall in so they can accuse our people, you know. Psyops, you know. Psychological operations, man. Verse 21, these things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was together such a one as thyself. They started getting so proud, and they've been so proud that they think the Most High is just like them. You know, looks like them and acts like them and everything. They believe the Most High is just like them. If there's a Most High, this is how Edomite believes. If there's a Most High, he's just like me. You know, that's what they believe. You know, but what is the Most High power Yahweh going to do? He's going to reprove them, you know. But it's already in the process. But I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes, man. Set who in order? The Israelites. You know, bring them back to the knowledge of the truth, man. Starting with the elect on this side, man. Bring them back to their heritage, man. Starting with their identity and then everything else, man. This is why these devils are so shook, you know, at what's going on with the Hebrew Israelites, man. The Hebrew Israelite brothers. This is why they are so scared, you know. This is why. You know, because they know their time is up. Basically. Revelation 11:11. And after 3 days and a half, these two prophets represent the northern and southern kingdoms of Israel, man. The true Israel, obviously. Verse 11, and after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High power Yahweh entered into them, and they stood up upon their feet. They stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them, man. Which were these heathens, man. And Esau, Edom, you know. Saw them. So I've seen Jake waking up since 1969, man. With Abba Bivens, you know, Rabbi Bivens, the true rabbi, out there educating our people, you know. Since 1969, you know. And then the truth has picked up steam, and these devils since then have been getting exposed, you know, more and more, you know. More scandals have been coming out, you know. Had the Watergate scandal coming out soon after. And then you had more scandals, man. You know, coming out, man. Iran-Contra, man. Then more, man. The Franklin cover-up, you know, with the pedophilia, you know, going on with Reagan and Bush, man. Shit with Clinton, scandals from the Clinton administration, man. Coming out, man. You know, showing Esau to be what? The wicked that the scriptures speak of. And then Bush, you know, further, man, more. They got exposed more and more, man. Basically, Lamentations 4 and 21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. This is the modern day land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked, man. That cup that we had to drink, man. Verse 22. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity, you know. No, we go home soon, you know. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom, he will discover thy sins, man. You know, Esau, Edom is, the nation of Esau, Edom is being exposed. You know, for the world to see, man. And then these race massacres, the truth about them started coming out, man. You know, the average Edomite being exposed, you know, as well as the elites. You know, how are the things of Esau searched out, man? On Google, all these other search engines, all day, man. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hid things sought up? Obadiah 1 and 6, man. Because Esau hides his sins, man. You know, commits them and hides them, man. Throws rocks and hides his hand, man. And when you throw a rock back at him, he's like, what? What? You're fucked up, you know? You're anti so-called white, you know? You're anti, you know, S-word, you know? You're hateful. You're a bigot, you know? You're a communist, you know? You're a terrorist, you know? You're a reverse racist, you know? That's what they'll call you, basically. But it's just Esau Edom being exposed, man. Revelation 18 and 6. This is happening, you know? It's a process that will continue to happen and pick up pace, you know? It's like a snowball rolling down, you know, a mountain, you know, rolling down a mountain covered with snow until build up into a fucking avalanche. Revelation 18 and 6. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. And the cup which she had filled to her double, you know. Babylon the Great, man. Who runs it? These Edomites. Verse 7. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. And we're doing that spiritually first, you know. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Verse 8, therefore shall her plagues come in one day. You know, ultimately, you know, it's going to be destroyed. You know, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burnt with fire. For strong is the Most High Power Yahweh who judgeth her, you know. Hey, you know, this place is through, man. It's gonna come down to this, man. Verse 9, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her, you know. Because they made so much money off this place, man. They got so rich, man. When they shall see the smoke of her burning. You know, verse 10, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for 1 hour is thy judgment come, you know. 1 hour. This place will be destroyed in 1 hour, man. Literally. By the nukes. That's going to be launched from Russia. By the nukes that's going to be launched from China. By the nukes that's going to be launched from North Korea, from Iran, you know, they're going to get some, you know, the nukes that's going to be launched from all these countries to Babylon, man. And they're going to take out them small hats, imposter Amalekites in our land too, man. Verse 10, hey, they're going to waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians, like it says in 2nd Ezra. What portion? That portion, you know. Verse 10, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for 1 hour is thy judgment come. Verse 11, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. What is America known as? You know, that consumer nation, man. It's like a top consumer nation, man. Consumer country, really. It's a top consumer country, man. A lot of the shit, most I'd say, is imported, man. You know, so that alone shows you among other things, that this place is Babylon, man. Pretty much. Babylon the Great, you know. Great in what? Wickedness. You know, that great city, man. That ruleth over the kingdoms of the earth. As America is like a huge city, bro. But yeah. You know, this place, you know, it's through. And these devils are being exposed more and more, you know. And it started in 1969, man. Pretty much. You know. And they're gonna come down with great wrath. They're gonna do what they gotta do, man. What they have been allowed to do. But what they have been programmed to do. But, you know, they're gonna face that ultimate judgment, man. You know, even after the destruction of Babylon, man, being brought back as slaves, man. These Edomites and these other heathens being brought back as slaves, you know, until Obadiah 1:18 time come, you know. Which Obadiah 1:18, there's gonna be no more need for these Edomites, man. To exist as a nation, you know. Obadiah 1:18, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau a stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, For the Most High Power Yahweh has spoken it. Edomites will not exist as a nation, man. The souls is gonna come back in some way, but they're not gonna exist as a nation. You know, there will not be a nation of Esau Edom. We have yet to see what's gonna be done with their souls, but there will not be a nation of Esau Edom after Obadiah 1:18 happens. There won't be a single Edomite, you know. Edomites will not exist, you know, pretty much. They won't exist. Now, what do these Edomites have been pushing, you know, this narrative that they're being replaced, right? This narrative that includes the small hats. They've been pushing that as well. This narrative that you know, they're gonna be done away with, you know that narrative, man. You know, which they got that part right. They will be done away with, but not on this side, man. They will be done away with, but they'll be done away with after 1,000 years of slavery, man. Hardcore slavery, man, under the Israelites, man, which are primarily so-called black people, Latinos, and Native Americans today, you know. So they will, you know, hey, bro, it will happen, you know, along with their brothers, the small hats, man, who are Edomites of the tribe of Amalek, you know, them both, you know. Both the regular Edomites, which is the same so-called white people, except for the Israelite foreigners among those people, are going to be done away with. And the small hats, you know, them, man, Amalek, you know, which Amalek, there's Most High Yahweh got it out for them, you know. For Amalek, man, they're basically the wickedest of the wicked, man. But and King Saul was judged severely for not doing away with them. But basically, King Saul fucked up, man, and he was like removed from being king for that. But just for that alone, man. But Exodus 17 and 14, and you can see why, you know. You see it today. They're running the world today. You know, claiming to be the Israelites, you know. Claiming to be specifically what? The Jews. You know? Claiming to be them, you know. Claiming our land, our heritage, all that, man. Identity thieves, man. But, You know, you see how it is today, man. They're pushing all types of abominations and shit. Hey, you know that Transformer shit is a part of that T mode, man. It's in that T mode, man. It's not in the scriptures. It's in the T mode. You do the math. You know what I mean by T mode. It's not in the scriptures, man. But I gotta put it that way because, you know, the algorithm, you know, and shit. But Exodus 17:14 and 14, and the Most High Power Yahweh said unto Moses, "Hey, which hold on, which shows you they run this shit, man, because you can't criticize them openly." But Exodus 17:14, and the Most High Power Yahweh said unto Moses, "Write this for a memorial in the book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua." You know, which is named in the Hebrew. Just fun fact, by the way. You know, it's Yahushai. You know, but he's not the Yahushai. You know, he is just a Yahushai, but a very prominent one. You know, for I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. You know, verse 15. You know, Moses built an altar and called the name of it Yahweh. You know, I don't know what Nissi is in ancient Paleo Hebrew, so I'm just going to read it verbatim. You know, Yahweh Nissi. That altar was called that, man. And why? Verse 16, for he said, because the Most High Power Yahweh has sworn that the Most High Power Yahweh will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. And that's why they got that fear too, man. They have it as well, man. That fear of being replaced, man. They have it as well. They have that fear that anti-S is gonna rise too much, and motherfuckers is just gonna start like murking them, basically. You know, that's they have that fear. They have that fear of that. You know, they have that fear of the Most High Power Yahweh waging war with them again. You know, basically, they have that fear of that because they know it's coming. That's why. You know, it's conditions that are like, even he's waging war with them right now, man. There's conditions that the small hats have that not even other tribes of Edomites have, you know. Mental and, you know, physical ailments that many of them have that not even, some of them exclusive to them, some of them not. That, not even, other tribes of Edomites, you know, have, you know, predominantly, man. You know, it's more common among them than in even other tribes of Edomites or other nations, you know, pretty much. But yeah, you know, hey, Esau, Edom, hey, go ahead and do your thing because it's gonna speed up, you know, the response from the Most High Power Yahweh. Pretty much, it's gonna bring it closer. But you know, hey man, but these devils about to make their move. Would not be surprised that before the end of all this, it's illegal to say Black Lives Matter. You know, no justice, no peace. They make it like a hate speech thing. You know, would not be surprised, and they link it to anti-S. You know, by some sleight of hand. I wouldn't be surprised. But you know, yeah, man, like, hey, I hope this video was edifying, you know, to the elect, you know, of the nation of Israel. They would be the elect, you know, and they come from the nation of Israel, you know, true Israel. You so-called black folks, Latinos and Native Americans, you know, y'all would be true Israel. And as well as scattered among the other nations, many of whom also looking like the other nations. You know, the Spirit bears witness to their father. Sea line goes back to because we don't have the records. But anyways, hey, the Spirit in prophecies, man, including the curses of Deuteronomy 28 chapter. Anyways, I hope this video was edifying, to y'all. I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakakwadash. And salutations to the Akim out there spreading this truth like wildfire in all truthfulness and in all sincerity. Which Akim, for those who don't know, by now means brothers, man. And Akwathium would mean sisters, But in the ancient Paleo Hebrew. But anyways, Shalom, to salutations and Shalom to the Akim out there spreading this truth like wildfire. This 144% truth and all truthfulness. Well, it would be all truthfulness, and all sincerity, that was taught to us by by the apostles and elders of GMS, Shalom to the rest of the hopeful elect out there. And hey, a Bible ball, death to Babylon, which that's America. About and it's coming. The Most High Yahweh will bring it. And about Adawami, death to these Edomites, man. About Gawayim, death to these other nations. The Most High Yahweh will bring it all, In the Bad, La Ayub Nawa, which means death to our enemies. He will bring that also, But anyways, yeah, man. And with that being said, hey, Shalom, stay strong, endure to the end. And Yasharallah forever. Yasharallah meaning, Israel. In the ancient Paleo Hebrew. In the English, it means he is a prince of power. Israel is just the anglicized version of that. Shalom, stay strong, Yasharallah forever. Salakia. Shalom, Akim. Wa Akwas. Shalom.